Hello. Welcome. I'm Jen Burson. I'm the founder and president of Generation PR and the creator of Generation Academy, the Profitable PR Pros community. We're going to have a nice discussion today around success tips that will help you improve your agency and your life. Who doesn't want that? I love this topic. I love all these topics around connection, like success tips that'll incorporate strategies to improve personal, professional, all of it merging together, because I see, people talk about work-life balance. I don't know if that's the right word. Everybody's like, balance is BS. I think it's more like work-life integration. I think that your work should support the kind of lifestyle that you want to have, both with your income, the time that you have to sort of manage your own flexibility and freedom, and also the opportunities that it affords you in your personal life. Like, running my own business lets me go pick up my kids. I just love the idea of your work being able to support flexibility and freedom and your lifestyle. But the other aspect of it is your relationships, connections with family, connections with your children, your spouse, your partner, and also your friends. And we know that as an agency owner, as a business owner, we're always focused on growth. We're always focused on growing your business, growing your revenues, looking for new clients. But that isn't the sole focus. It shouldn't be, because if you ignore your personal life in favor of this grind, then you're going to get burnt out. You're going to sacrifice relationships, and that's not what I want for any of us. So it's all about that work-life integration, and what you do outside of the office, it has a major impact on your energy levels. We're going to talk through ways that you can be more connected as you're growing your business. And when I say that, it's personal, professional, emotional, purpose-driven growth. It's not just like business growth. So there's way more that goes into this sort of work-life integration, and we can't ignore your personal life in the process. So the best way to reach your goals and make life shifts that will last is to extend them past your professional life and into your personal life. That's what we're hoping for, our lasting change, lasting impact and benefit. So what you do outside of work, it has a major impact on your agency and how you are going to function inside of it. And we want any changes we talk about to last. So I have 5 of my very best tips for improving your life and your agency at the same time. The first one is where you really should start. And that's why we're starting here. And it's get clarity on your why and your values. As an entrepreneur, that is everything. It is your purpose, it is your guiding light, and it is your reason for moving forward when the going gets tough. And feeling satisfied and fulfilled in your business and life is really tough if you don't know what it is you're working towards or why. What is your why? And this goes for knowing your values too. Nailing down what matters most to you as a person, as a business owner, service provider, an agency owner, that is going to help you make decisions that you can feel good about no matter the result. And when you know your why, you're doing what you're doing, so you know the reason why you're doing these things. You can bounce back from obstacles quicker. You can stay motivated along the way. And not knowing your why will lead you to making decisions on a whim or letting setbacks get the best of you. You'll be like, well, that freaking sucked. And you might not have that inner engine and drive to move you forward through these setbacks, or take longer to rebound from them. And there often will come a major disconnect between yourself and your agency when you don't have a really solid understanding of your why, your purpose, and the values that are important to you. Let me give you an example of this and how it just came up for me personally. And then when it comes to my values, I had a prospective client come along, the most wonderful woman, not a direct competitor to one of my clients, but in the same space with LED. But I still felt like it was too close. And I felt like my values lead me to a place where my client relationships and being a person of integrity is the number one most important thing. My issue was that I learned everything that I know about LED technology through my client, and that same client has studies that they've conducted, independent research, and they have FDA clearance to make certain claims about wrinkles, firmness, anti-acne. That's a really big deal. So if I'm going to go tell the media, oh, this company can make these claims because they're FDA cleared, and then I'm going to go pitch the same type of product that doesn't do their own independent research that's been FDA cleared for them to make their own claims. So I'm saying this device is amazing because they have their own FDA clearance. And then I'm saying, but this device has LED also, so it's also great. It felt like a direct conflict of my values as a communicator, agency owner, a connection to the media, and also a partner to my existing client. To me, just felt like, I can't. And it was so hard. But I also felt really good about making that decision, because when something is out of alignment, that's the point of this, with your values, those decisions become very easy. And that's the place I want to get all of you to. And you're not just making decisions willy-nilly on a whim. You're making decisions that will be connected to yourself, your agency, not just making decisions as they come and piecemealing and then things are inconsistent. So gaining clarity on your why and your values. It does not have to be an hours-long, soul-searching, like sent from heaven above, stroke of inspiration process. It can be very simple, okay? So let's simplify it and do it right now. Grab a piece of paper or open up a Word doc if you're on your computer, if you're on your phone, open up the Notes app and write down 3 of the most important things in your life right now. It can be anything. And then jot down a few bullet points as to why they're so important to you. Family's important because you love them, but I want you to go deeper. Go beyond that. How do you support each other? How do they make you proud? How do you want to make them proud and inspired by you? And maybe what part of your relationship brings you the most happiness? So thinking about the things you wrote down as your 3 things that are the most important to you, and then getting into the why, that helps you gain that clarity. And it has a real depth to it than just family. Like, yeah, we all know family is important, Flexibility and freedom is one of my biggest, whys. And I have my reasons as to why it's so incredibly important to me. It helped me completely redefine my definition of success, my vision of success, having control of my time, working with who I want to work with. And so even just exploring a few of these things can help you gain that clarity on the importance of your values. And when you know that, things really click, because decisions become easier. Your values are top of mind. You get to make decisions from a place of integrity, professional integrity, personal integrity. It's also a practice in gratitude. It's a practice in what matters most to you. And knowing that why will really drive you when things get hard. And running your business is not all like sunshine and roses, okay? So that's number 1. And number 2, focus on natural energy boosts over artificial ones. We all love a good cup of coffee or tea in the morning, but it's not always the best way to get your energy. Caffeine leads to crash at the end of the day. And we want you to have consistent energy throughout the day. You don't want to show up to late meetings in the afternoon and be like, checked out or not your best self. You need to maintain that energy level, that stamina throughout your day as an agency owner. We have clients all over the world. We have clients we have someone in Singapore, and our calls are late afternoon just to manage the time. So I got to show up. I have to run those calls. I have to have energy. So you owe that to yourself. You're not going to have the stamina to make progress on your big picture goals in your business if your energy is always crashing out, after lunch or 3:00, and you're doing these low impact tasks because it's all you can muster, instead of bigger picture focused energy that's going to help you grow and scale your agency. And ending days exhausted and burnt out doesn't leave you with that energy at the end of the day to deeply connect with your friends, your family, your kids, or focus on anything for yourself in the evenings. So to sustain your energy throughout the day and fully commit yourself to all of your goals, your responsibilities, the things you want, you need to focus on getting that energy from natural sources, right? Because caffeine has an energy crash. It takes more than just loading up on caffeine. And here are some natural sources. This is where I'm talking about your diet, exercise, sleep. And I know this advice is everywhere. And the reason why is because it actually works. And it's really important. So exercise, diet, and sleep, if you're not at least focusing on these in some meaningful way, I'm not saying only eat green vegetables. And no, it's starting small and not overwhelming yourself completely by overhauling your whole nutrition plan and your exercise schedule. That doesn't work. I'm not here to tell you, get your ish together, get it all together all at once. I am not super consistent with exercise. I have a few things that I do, but I do walk the dog in the hills, up and down the hills for 45 minutes a day. And that has a number of benefits for me, from breathing fresh air, getting my body moving, listening to a podcast that will inspire me, being out and about with the dog, which she loves, and connecting with neighbors and things like that. I think it's all really healthy, but that's a consistent thing that I'm doing. Focus on one area at a time. And I think the number one place to start would be around sleep. And that is super important to me. I love optimizing my sleep. And here's a couple ways that you can do it. And if you're not doing this, try starting tonight and give yourself a week and see what happens. So try switching your phone alarm out, move it out of your room. So a lot of people will say to me, well, I use my phone as my alarm. Get a clock. Get something else that'll wake you up. Ideally, when you get into a good routine, you will wake up naturally at the same time. I wake up at the same time every day. It's right around 7. Eventually, you may not even need an alarm clock, but get an alarm clock on Amazon for $10 and just move your phone out of your room. Don't look at your phone right before bed and right when you wake up. This is going to seriously improve your sleep quality and your energy levels. And I know I'm not the first person that's mentioned this or told this to you, but there's nothing but downside to it. Really, there's no upside. The news comes on, you get alerts from CNN or whatever, and it's stressful. Emails come in, and then you just keep thinking about I got to get back to this person. So move your phone. Give yourself a week. If a week is hard, give yourself 3 days. And pay attention to how you're sleeping. Don't look at your phone an hour before bedtime. Pay attention to how you're sleeping, and don't look at your phone when you wake up and get that stressful news or those email alerts of like all the things that everybody else demands of your day. Okay, that was 2. 3, develop a more confident and courageous mindset. Okay, you're like, courage, whatever. Courage isn't just what the cowardly lion needed. And I love The Wizard of Oz. I maybe have seen it 400 times. Having a confident mindset means being brave. And it means going into tough situations, being ready, feeling prepared, knowing that you're going to be top of your game and be able to react the way you want and say the things you want. Having courage and facing your fears, being confident means that you're going outside of your comfort zone. Maybe you're taking leaps of faith, knowing that you'll put in the work and you'll make it happen. You're going to succeed. And you have to be courageous and confident in your home life also. It's important for solving conflict at home, also building your dream life and fostering those deeper, meaningful connections. It does take that courage and that confident mindset. Elevating your life, it takes a lot of effort. It doesn't just happen. You have to be intentional. You have to know what you want. You can't achieve those bigger goals if you're constantly backing down when things get hard. It's just sometimes things are hard and you might be like, I don't have the energy, or I don't know that this is going to work out exactly the way I want it to. So I'm just not going to deal. That takes confidence and courage. And you don't just develop those skills and those traits in yourself overnight. You have to put in the work to develop and to grow them. Can you guys tell I'm really passionate about this overall topic? So if there's anything that you've wanted to pursue for a while, but you have been maybe too scared to finally go after it, is there anything like that you can think of in your life? It could be something big like moving to another state or moving out of the country. It's a big deal, right? Or launching a new business venture, or something smaller like adding a certain service to your agency, overhauling your personal style. So back to taking out that piece of paper or the notes app, I want you to write down 3 things that you can do right now that would help you become more confident in pursuing that desire. So think about, again, anything that you've wanted to pursue for a while. Maybe you've been too scared, or you think you're too busy and you don't have the bandwidth to put in the work. If it's moving, if it's redesigning your website, taking professional photos, doing like a branding photo shoot, whatever that 1 or 2 or 3 things is or are, write down 3 things that you can do right now that will help you become more courageous and confident in pursuing that thing that you want. Maybe it's researching, taking a new course, or chatting with a mentor for advice, or whatever it is. Write that down and go for it. Do it now. When else is there a good time to do it? You're never going to be less busy. You're never going to be, more interested in doing the thing than you are right now. It's never a good time. They always say, like, getting a dog. There's never a good time to get a dog. You just get a dog and you train the dog and then you have a dog. Or like having kids. You can talk yourself out of these things because it's like, I have this going on, I have that going. There's always something going on. It's like, I'm just very much like, it's now. Just got to do it and move forward. So that will give you that burst of courage and confidence that, will help you move forward and pursue this goal. And that momentum, that energy feels really empowering. That momentum, it's like action brings momentum, and then momentum will help you get these things accomplished. And you're like, why did I wait so long to do this? Half the time I do things, I'm like, why did I wait so long? This was like so much better than I thought it was. I'm so happy it's done. And why did I talk myself out of this for so long? So that's number 3, developing a more confident and courageous mindset. 4, focus on minimizing your distractions. So productivity is really important. We want to improve your productivity. We know this is really important for digital agency owners, but we are not going to give in to this BS hustle culture. Hustle hard, hustle. No, hustling sucks. Like, it's not sustainable. Constantly grinding out work, that will lead you to burnout. You cannot be an effective leader and an effective entrepreneur, the leader of your business, the leader your team and your clients need when you are constantly working from a place of overwhelm and stress. It does not work. Maybe short term to get you through something, but you cannot sustain that. You'll be burnt out. You'll hate your business. It's just not going to be, you'll be in a bad mood. It's not fun. So I want you to be productive in your professional life, your personal life, but what this looks like is up to you. You know, your time and energy are the most valuable, the most impactful and productive when you're spending them on tasks and activities, responsibilities that are going to push you toward your goals and will align with your life's values. And that's why it's really important that we get clarity on your why and your values right at the outset. And then we know that the things you're doing personally and professionally are aligned with that. When things are incongruent or out of whack or out of alignment, or you're not living in self-integrity. So we want goals to align with your life's values. So here again, pull out that paper or that note and list out 3 distractions, whether they're big or small, that are keeping you from getting more done during the weekday, or spending more time with family and friends during time off, or maybe minimizing your time off. Like, sometimes my friend will message me on a Friday and she'll say, "Hey, I'm not at work today. Do you want to grab lunch?" And I'll be like, Can I go grab lunch? Like, what is this thing that is probably going to take me away from connecting with my friend and taking a little time off or going on a hike or whatever? Is that thing, that activity, more important than bonding with my best friend or spending, time with my husband, during the day when the kids are out? Like, what did I do that kept me from finishing my work in a timely manner? And I can almost always point it back to being on the phone, being on social media, going on a deep dive, like searching for something online that I need for the house or whatever. And that's a trade-off. You have to decide, is that distraction worth the impact, the sacrifice, the time away from other things that are important to you, like exercising or walking your dog or baking or things that you love? It's that trade-off. Do you want to spend an hour on TikTok, or do you want to spend an hour connecting with somebody that is really important to you in your life and deepening your relationship, your connection? It's all trade-offs. So if you put number 1, your screen, which probably we all will, you can cut down. I'm going to give you a tip on screen time. You can set timers. Like, I'm just going to check email for the next 10 minutes. And when that timer goes off, you move on. And that decision to move on and not be like, 1 more minute or 5 more minutes or whatever, that is you being in alignment with your values and self-integrity. Like you said, I am going to do this, and now I'm going to do it. You can block out time each day to focus on your email instead of just continuously getting distracted when a new email comes in. Like, close out of it entirely and then choose, once every 2 hours, like give yourself 10 minutes instead of just constantly being like, oh, somebody else needs my attention. I got to get right back to that. Unless your client's in the middle of a big launch or you do crisis comms and there's like something that's happening or they have to get ahead of it, you don't need to be on email all the time. You just don't. And we say, well, I'm in the service business, and you guys know I talk about after hours. You're not checking email and you're not getting back to client. I mean, you can check email, but don't get back to clients right away because you're training them to have access to you all the time. And you're giving them access to you on nights and weekends, which you should not allow them to have that level of access to you and your attention and your time. For the most part, I can check email a few times a day and quickly kind of, like I say, triage, but like sort it or forward it or move something along. Because otherwise, email serves as a way for other people to get priority over your goals because they send an email and now it has your attention. So, the other thing you can do to minimize your procrastination by using the Pomodoro method. You guys know what that is, 25-minute timer. They call it Pomodoro because of that tomato timer in the kitchen. And then you give yourself a 5-minute break. You have like super focused attention on one thing and just keep focused on it until it's done. Maybe it's 2 Pomodoros or 3 Pomodoros or whatever. You start to get really good at predicting how much time things will take you if you just focus on it and don't like context shift. So just taking one small action now to reduce your distractions can make a world of difference later as you continue working towards your goals. So think about what those distractions are. Stop making excuses for them. Yeah, we all are in PR and probably need to know what's happening on social media. But does that mean that you go on social and you get sucked into the rabbit hole mindlessly scrolling for the next hour? And then you're like, oh crap, it's been an hour of nonsense. Like, it's entertaining. It's fun. It's not like you go, wow, I wish I had that time back. You're like, I needed the distraction. But at what expense? So you gave yourself an hour on TikTok or Instagram, and now you have to finish the work you needed to do before you can wrap up your day. And you now don't have the time to cook a fresh dinner for your family, or you don't have time to like do that half hour of exercise before you wind down for the day. You know what I mean? Like, there's always a trade-off. So just be aware of those things that are distracting you and impacting your productivity, and we can work on improving that. The last thing, number 5, influence. This doesn't mean being a social media influencer. I want you to recognize that you have influence. You're not an influencer with millions of followers. Maybe you are. Or a celebrity who will spark major trends. Maybe you are. But you already have influence in your agency, whether you have 1 client, 5 clients, or you're running a multi-million-dollar agency. You have influence there. You have influence with your friends and your family. We all do. Having influence means people will listen to you. They're going to value your opinion. They're going to take it into consideration when they're making their decisions. It's like being a role model. I know I'm a role model to my kids. I know I'm a role model to my husband. For my friends that are like true, genuine friends, I want to set a good example. And I'm saying that you're role models too, obviously. You should know that. If you don't, or you've never thought of it, get on board. People are influenced by you. They're impacted by the things that you're doing. You have influence over your clients, your team, media. If you convert a pitch to a press win, you had influence over that editor. So you want people look up to you. Maybe they want to emulate you. So you want to set a good example, whether it's for your family, your kids, your significant other, or your team. So that's a big deal. When you have influence, it's very powerful. And you could choose to just not recognize it and not use that to your advantage. Not influence in the sense of like you're going to manipulate. It's not manipulation. That's not what I'm talking about. By being who you are increasing your influence when you're intentional with the things that you're doing, you can have a positive impact or even a negative impact. Not that it's not what we want, but like, let's say you work and work and work and you burn yourself out. You have influence over the people around you that are seeing you do that. And they might say, well, having your own business, all I remember is my mommy was so stressed out. She was so burnt out. That influence you have over the people watching you is negative. So think about how you can positively influence people that are important to you and be a better role model. So right now on your same piece of paper, write down one person that you want to be a role model for, or a better role model. You might already know that you are. Who it is you want to influence. That could be a younger sibling. It could be somebody you're mentoring, somebody that's new on your team, your child, a friend, whomever. And brainstorm 3 reasons why you want to increase your influence over them. Like I said, not manipulate, but inspire, motivate, mentor, get them on the right track, get them thinking in a different way, opening up their mindset in a different way. So you're thinking 3 reasons why you want to increase your influence over them, and then 3 ways that you can model that behavior or those practices that you want them to absorb. Seeing you do those things and the outcomes that come from them, showing versus telling, but realize that you do have that influence over people in your life, your community. It could be your church or religious community. It could be your friend group, your parent, your group of friends, through parenting, your family, all those ways that you can have an influence, recognize it, So that's what I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you guys next week. Bye. Have a good one.